Do you have knee osteoarthritis?
Do you worry about hurting your knee when exercising?
If so, we want to help you to find the safest way to perform resistance training so that you can gain strength and confidence to live your life the way you want to.
Knee osteoarthritis is a super common condition for adults over 55, and it can result in joint pain and stiffness, and this can make it hard to start exercising. And further to that, a lot of people with knee osteoarthritis think that they are further damaging their joint if they're performing exercises such as squats and lunges, or maybe going for a long hike in the bush.
That's right, but what we know is when started at a tolerable level, resistance training exercises can be incredibly beneficial for the knee. In fact, the compression that's involved with these movements is one of the aspects that contributes to their benefit. A moving joint is a healthy joint.
That's right.
Motion is lotion.
Okay, Gaz, I love that. Well, we are going to get stuck into 3 exercises that you can do safely at home. Now, before getting into those 3 safe exercises for your knee, you may be thinking, whoa, hang on. I've had a knee x-ray and it shows that I don't have any cartilage left in my joint. Doesn't that mean the exercises are going to wear out my joint even more? Short answer is no.
Whilst it is true that osteoarthritis is typically associated with the thinning of joint cartilage, this is not the same type of wear and tear that we would associate with a mechanical car part, for example. The body is an adaptable structure which will change in response to the load which we place on it. So it's not wear and tear, the body will wear and repair.
That's right, and you can have knee osteoarthritic changes on x-ray without having any symptoms at all. In fact, here's a stat for you. 43% of people over the age of 40 will show knee osteoarthritic changes on MRI without having any pain or symptoms.
We like to avoid applying unnecessary ominous labels like degeneration that are commonly used in the medical world. Instead, we like to think of these things as normal age-related changes analogous to grey hairs or wrinkles.
Or maybe even balding or something like that. All right, but let's go through those 3 exercises that we promise. And we know you're going to love them because we're going to give you alternatives so that you can find a safe and tolerable starting point. Let's get into it. All right, the first exercise I am going to go through with you is the squat. Now, this is one of the best exercises that you can do for strengthening your quadricep muscles, which is really important when you have knee osteoarthritis. It's going to make so many of your daily tasks, like getting out of the chair or up off the floor, easier. But for a lot of people, squatting is going to be painful. So it's all about finding an easier version that will suit you and make it more tolerable so that you can start strength training. So let's go through that now. What I've got here is a chair, and instead of a squat, we're going to do a sit to stand. But for the easiest version, I'm going to stack a couple of pillows on the chair so that I'm squatting, or sitting to stand, I should say, from a higher position here. Okay, and this might make it a little bit more tolerable for me so that I can start my strength training at this point. And over time, as this gets easier, I can take away a cushion, and then I'm going just a little bit lower. So making sure it's tolerable, but challenging yourself. And then over time, once again, I can get rid of that second cushion and I can go all the way down to the chair that I'm using. So I'm getting a little bit more depth, which is more applicable for my daily tasks. Now, one little tip might be to change up the stance, right? So for some people, they like to squat with a very narrow stance. Some people like a little bit wider. Some people like very upright in their torso, and some people like bending over a little bit more at the shoulders. So play around with your stance and your shoulders as well. Once you're onto the chair, you can then upgrade to more of a squat like we showed at the start. And you might just start with a very shallow squat, and then over time, get deeper and deeper as you can tolerate the movement more. And this is a great way to keep it safe for you. Now, once you've gotten to that stage, or at any of the stages, you can of course add weight to the movement to make it a little bit more challenging. And one of the best ways to do that, and one of the easiest and cheapest ways to do that, is by adding a bag on my back, filling it with some books or some cans. And now I've got some weight to add to the challenge of my sit to stand from the chair or my squat. So there's the squat or the easier sit to stand.
Now another great exercise for knee osteoarthritis is the glute bridge. This is a great exercise for strengthening the muscles in the glute and the hamstrings, which can be affected when we have knee pain or knee osteoarthritis. So let's start with a standard glute bridge. You don't need much equipment, or any at all in fact, for the standard glute bridge. You just need a space to lie flat on the floor. Feet flat on the ground, tucking them up towards your bottom. Push through your feet into the ground, lift your pelvis as high as it'll go, trying to get a nice straight plane from your shoulders to your knees. If you need to make it tolerable for you, feel free to move your foot position either further out or further in. Generally speaking, this will move the strain from the glutes down to the hamstrings as you move further out. Now, if that's quite easy and we're seeking a bit more of a challenge, I want you to go up onto your heels. So a subtle change from feet flat on the ground, up onto your heels, pushing into the ground, lifting your pelvis up from the ground. Nice and slow and controlled on the way up and the way down. Now you can probably feel that firing up your hamstrings, but if you're not, and you're really seeking an extra challenge, I want you to grab a chair. Now it could be a chair, could be a step. The higher it is, the harder it's gonna be. All you're gonna do, pop your feet, pop your heels up on the chair, push into the chair, lift your pelvis up off the ground as high as it can go. We're increasing the range of motion here, the tension on the muscles, making it harder, making our muscles stronger. So there's the glute bridge.
Okay, let's get into our third and final exercise, which is step ups. Now, of course, most people in their day are gonna come across a set of steps that they're gonna have to get up and down. So it's very important to train for it. Now, the easiest version of a step up that you can do at home, finding a step somewhere around your house or in the community, is by holding on and giving yourself some assistance when you're starting. So I'm going left up, left foot down. And I'm holding on to the chair here to give me some assistance. So that's taking some of my weight in the arms. And this is probably easier if you just have a handrail on the stairs or a bench next to you or something like that. Now, once that gets more tolerable for you, you can of course take the hand away. Now I've got my full body weight doing the step ups. Now, once that becomes tolerable, I can of course add some weight. So just like with the squat or the stand from the chair, I can add some weight just like I'm on a hike. And now I'm doing the step ups with a little bit more challenge for me. And by adding that bit of weight, when it becomes more tolerable, we're aiming to challenge our muscles more to increase that strength. And think about it, if I can chuck 10 kilos in a bag and do the step ups, imagine how easy that becomes when you're doing it without any weight, walking up the stairs in the community. So there's step ups, another great exercise to try and do safely if you have knee osteoarthritis.
We hope that you found that exercise tutorial helpful. Now the aim is to find a tolerable starting point and gradually build up your strength and tolerance from there. With consistency, we're sure that you'll build strength and confidence in your body.
And getting confident and stronger is going to be great for making all of your daily tasks easier. Think of this, if squatting out of a chair or getting up and down from the ground is hard now, imagine what it'll be like in 5 years' time without any strengthening exercises.
Now it's important to remember that exercise is not a panacea, and you can still have pain with or after exercise. But ask yourself this, would you rather be weak and have pain, or be strong and have pain and be capable of doing so much more? Food for thought.